Looks like a fucking hand. Get a light on there.
Oh, stop.
I just saw him running right there.
Okay, hold on. What?
Yeah,
Another one?
it was right in that meadow.
Chad explores abandoned locations that have been left untouched for years, and this time he and his friend are making their way through a huge, decaying institutional building. The rooms are empty and quiet, but as they move farther inside, both begin feeling as though they might not be completely alone. While walking through another section of the building, Chad admits that something about the place keeps making him turn around.
I keep getting the feeling like there's something following us though.
That's why I keep turning around.
Yeah.
When I'm shooting right now, I wasn't facing this way before.
I know.
We were walking the other way.
Yeah. But most places, dude, I usually just go through.
I try not
And
to
I
go
don't-
through too quick.
Yeah, but I don't tend to look back behind me that much.
I have a couple times here though.
Yeah, I have to.
Or this is twice now. But it's weird, man.
It's a vibe though, you feel it though, right?
Yeah. I feel like something's watching.
Normally, he can explore without constantly checking behind him. Here, however, both men have found themselves repeatedly looking back. His friend feels it too. Chad describes the sensation as though something is watching them from around the corners. Continuing through the building, they discover an old bathroom containing a bathtub that remains surprisingly intact.
Look at
That's
that.
That's like a bath that a nurse or something would be right next to you while you take it.
Yeah, they'd be in the room here with you.
Watching your ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't cut yourself or whatever.
It's like completely intact too. They didn't come in here and destroy it or nothing.
Which is nice, I think.
That's weird. I wonder if something... Yo, somebody told me a story about something.
What's it?
Like if you sit in the tub
Yeah.
or some shit, something happens to you.
Oh yeah?
I don't remember exactly.
What happens?
I'm not sure. Some girl told me. Or something. She said if you sit in the tub, something happens. I don't remember.
I'll sit in that tub.
The discovery reminds Chad of a story someone once told him about this particular tub. According to what he remembers, something strange is supposedly meant to happen if a person sits inside it. Chad cannot recall the exact details, but he thinks the story involved experiencing the sensation of drowning. Rather than simply talk about it, his friend decides to test the story himself. He climbs directly into the old bathtub. Chad still cannot remember exactly what is supposed to happen, so the two decide to remain quiet and see whether anything unusual occurs.
It's supposed to feel like you're drowning or something? I don't know. Don't quote me on anything. That was to hold on tight while they were torturing you. Or the last glimpse of hope you had to hold on to while they were drowning you underwater. It's weird. It's like just a bathroom, you know? It's weird. There's just a tub sitting here. I don't know. I'm gonna get in. Let's see what we got here. Yeah. Let's see what we got. I'm in the tub. It's in the tub. I don't know. Something scary is supposed to happen, I think, and I'm not sure what it is. Let's just wait here for a minute and see if we hear anything.
For a moment, they simply sit and listen to the empty building around them. Nothing obvious happens while they wait. Chad admits that without remembering the full story, they do not really know what they are supposed to be looking for. He asks viewers familiar with the history of the location to explain the story so they can potentially return and perform the experiment properly. Moving into another section, they find an area Chad says was not accessible during an earlier visit.
Yeah, we weren't in this section over here, bro. When I was here a while back, this was not open.
The newly opened space immediately gives them another surprise. Curtains and other signs suggest that someone may have been using this abandoned building for shelter.
And look at this.
Yeah, the curtains.
Curtains, I mean, definitely for a homeless person to take shelter in. Yeah, he's down here. So whoever he is, we're gonna look for him right now. He might be down here. I don't know who he is though. Yeah, this is incredibly bugged out.
Yeah.
I feel like, what the fuck is that? Like a light or something? See what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Unless it's just like a reflection. Yeah, this was the original way in, I think. Because I remember these steps right here.
Oh yeah. Then once you go.
Yeah.
After spending the exploration feeling watched, the discovery offers at least one possible explanation for why the building never felt completely empty. Outdoor girl Sophie is used to spending nights alone outdoors, but this adventure puts her in a very different kind of campsite. Instead of pitching a tent on solid ground, Sophie plans to sleep inside a wooden treehouse suspended high above the forest. Reaching it, however, turns out to be much more intimidating than she expected. Sophie finally arrives at the treehouse and immediately realizes it is much higher than she remembers.
Oh my god, I'm here. It is a lot higher than what I remembered. This is gonna be so crazy. Look at this construction. I need to climb on these ladders and small bridges hanging. And everything is super wet because of the snow is melting. So I'm a little bit scared that it's gonna be really slippery.
To reach the cabin, she has to climb a series of ladders and cross narrow suspended bridges. Making things worse, melting snow has left everything wet. Before she even begins climbing, Sophie worries that the wooden surfaces could be extremely slippery.
This is pretty steep, so I hope it's not too slippery. I made it! The second platform, so one more bridge to go, and then I'm in the cabin. Oh, this is very far up. My legs are shaking.
She carefully crosses the first bridge and reaches the second platform. Now there is only one bridge separating her from the cabin. Standing high above the ground, Sophie looks at the final crossing and admits her legs are already shaking. As she steps onto it, the structure begins making noises beneath her. The slippery bridge immediately becomes too much. Sophie says she genuinely does not like the situation and questions whether the noises mean the structure is actually secure. Instead of forcing herself forward, she retreats.
It is making some noises. Doesn't that mean that it's gonna hold? Jesus Christ. Okay, I did go back. I don't know why I'm suddenly so scared. Oh, I hate my brain sometimes. My heart is beating so fast.
Back on the platform, she cannot understand why she has suddenly become so frightened. After taking a moment, Sophie decides to try again.
Okay, I'm gonna try again. It's just about doing it quickly, I guess. Jesus Christ.
Her heart is racing, but this time she moves quickly across the bridge. Finally, she reaches the treehouse. Even after making it safely inside, her legs are still shaking from the climb. Once settled, Sophie admits the journey up was considerably scarier than expected.
Now I'm all settled in the treehouse, my home for the night. This actually was a lot more scary than what I thought it would be. But I made it so far and it has not fallen down. So I hope that it will stay at least until tomorrow.
Still, the treehouse has remained standing, and she prepares to spend the entire night there. Then Sophie checks the weather forecast.
Just looking at the weather forecast, and it does say that we will get a lot of rain during the night. I'm not sure if it shows, but it says it will start at 3 in the night and then just rain non-stop until 3 in the afternoon tomorrow.
Heavy rain is expected during the night, along with stronger winds. Even small gusts are already making the treehouse sway in the trees. Sophie has brought a tarp to protect the open sides, but covering them would leave her sitting in complete darkness. For now, she decides to wait and hope the treehouse keeps her dry until morning. Paranormal Discovery ventures into remote areas searching for unexplained activity, haunted locations, and stories of creatures hiding far from civilization. During this trip through British Columbia, the group camps beside a lake surrounded by thick forest. Before the night investigation even begins, they are already discussing signs that something unusual could be living nearby. Looking toward the forest surrounding their campsite, the group begins discussing what they experienced during a previous visit.
You had some stuff go on when you were here last time, eh?
Yeah,
it's
definitely a very interesting place.
Yeah, I can feel it, that's for sure.
Yeah,
So,
so weird noises, and I think there's a Bigfoot out here too.
actually,
There's definitely something out in the woods.
According to Angelo, the area produced some strange noises. He believes there is definitely something moving through the woods. The possibility of Bigfoot quickly enters the conversation. With 2 nights planned at the campsite, they will have plenty of time to explore after dark. Walking around the area, the creator admits the nearby forest gives him an unsettling feeling.
like, this is gonna be pretty freaky, and I'll be real with you. Angelo was telling me that there is some, like, weird thing. On the way up, he was like, yeah, like, you're gonna get freaked out here.
Angelo has already warned him that something about this particular location might freak him out. Despite the beautiful lake and scenery, the thick woodland nearby seems like an obvious place to investigate once darkness arrives. Later, the group returns to the subject of strange activity.
On the sides here, we are tucked away in the corner, but that can't change spiritual activity. So,
Activity.
yeah, we did see a lot of Bigfoot activity on the way up. Like, bunch of trees, like structures just in weird positions. It was really, like, creepy. So, yeah, we'll see what happens tonight. We'll get into all the camping stuff.
They explain that while traveling to the campsite, they noticed several unusual formations involving trees. Some appeared to have been arranged into structures or positioned in ways they found difficult to explain. To them, these formations could potentially indicate Bigfoot activity in the area. Much later, after darkness has settled over the campsite, the atmosphere feels completely different. The creator says he can already sense unusual energy around him. More importantly, he has started hearing things from somewhere nearby.
It's gonna get freaky, I know that for a fact. I'm already feeling stuff around, so I don't know, I think I should be okay. What do you think here? Because I've been hearing shit, I just don't know.
To be real with you, if you encounter a grizzly, that ain't gonna do shit.
Yeah, it's true.
I guess it's something, but
That'll probably get me attacked by a grizzly.
probably, yeah.
Oh god, I was hearing stuff down there, but I guess we'll take the risk. Alright, I'm gonna take a little hike and I'll be back.
He considers carrying something for protection, but realizes it would offer little help if the animal outside turned out to be a grizzly bear. Still, the unexplained noises convince him to investigate. Rather than immediately hiking deeper into the darkness, he decides to stay closer and listen. Whatever he heard appears to be coming toward his position. Standing alone near the edge of the forest, he waits to see whether the movement will reveal itself.
Alright, so right now I'm kind of chasing a sound. Well, a few sounds that I heard. I really got intrigued. I just don't know if this lady in green's supposed to be here when she might be. They were really like saying that she's a bad entity. And there's also something about an otter. If you see a water otter, like, don't trust it or something. Because it like shapeshifts into like a luring entity as well. Hello?
After an entire day of discussing Bigfoot and unusual structures, the sounds in the darkness give the group another reason to keep watching the surrounding woods. Jesse's drone adventures travels through remote desert landscapes, using off-road trails and drone footage to uncover places most people never see. On this journey through the Arizona mountains, Jesse is heading toward a location he has researched in advance. The difficult drive eventually brings him within reach of his destination, only for the road to deliver an unexpected surprise. Jesse heads into the mountains toward a location suggested by several viewers.
Next thing I know, I was heading for the mountains. This is a location that a few of my viewers have mentioned over the past few months. After some careful research and seeing a few enticing photos on Jeep forums, I knew this was going to be my next destination. But with every new adventure comes new challenges.
After crossing the rougher terrain, the road becomes smoother and the landscape opens around him. The views are spectacular, but the trail still demands constant attention.
After making it through the flat, rough stuff, the road became smoother, the sky grew brighter, and it was non-stop, jaw-dropping views. It was one of those drives where the further you went, it seemed like the land opened up even more, and around every curve was another surprise.
Loose sand and steep edges mean that even a small distraction could send a vehicle off the road.
But at times, it could be extremely bumpy and very sandy toward the edges. Nothing to be too concerned about, but the slightest distraction could send you down the hill. And maybe it's just me, but I feel like it would be extremely embarrassing to go over the edge on a trail like this.
About halfway to his destination, Jesse stops and checks his surroundings.
According to Google Maps, it didn't seem like I was that far away, but staring off into the distance, it sure didn't feel like it.
According to his GPS, he should not be particularly far away. Looking across the enormous landscape, however, the destination feels much farther than the map suggests. He soon gets back on the road and continues climbing. While concentrating on his GPS, Jesse nearly drives past an abandoned vehicle.
I was so focused on my GPS that I almost missed this. Like most of the car wrecks that I find out in the desert, who really knows the story as to how this ended up here? My guess would be it was probably a work truck that belonged to one of the miners, and one day it just broke down. It was probably one of those situations where it would end up costing too much to tow back into town, and by the time all the repairs were said and done, it would cost even more. The owner then realized it probably wasn't worth the hassle and ended up buying a new truck. But what do you guys think?
The old wreck has been left sitting alone in the desert. Jesse suspects it may once have belonged to someone working in the nearby mines. Perhaps it broke down and was simply too expensive to recover. After briefly examining the unexpected discovery, he continues toward his actual destination. Now only a short distance away, Jesse encounters something he had not anticipated. The road ahead is blocked. After traveling all the way through the mountains, he realizes he cannot continue to the location he intended to explore.
Well, this is a huge bummer. We get all the way up here, and we can't even make it to what I wanted to show you guys. Which is okay, because it's been a hell of a ride. It's been very fun, it's been very scenic. But I was not expecting this.
Jesse examines the signs at the gate. They identify the land as private property and warn visitors that access can be revoked. However, the wording makes him wonder whether visitors might be able to obtain permission or a permit. Either way, he cannot continue today. Disappointed, Jesse turns around and begins the journey back down. His research had suggested the location was accessible, with no clear warning about gates or road closures. Although the original destination remains unexplored, Jesse decides the trip was still worthwhile. After returning home, he discovers other possible access routes on Google Earth.
After I got back home, I pulled up the location on Google Earth, and I did see that there were a few different ways to access the site. Maybe I made a simple mistake and took the wrong road, but all I know is this isn't the last time I'll be visiting this place, and as soon as I can get a confirmed route up here, I'll be back.
For him, that means the closed gate has only postponed the adventure rather than ended it. Under the Weather combines outdoor exploration with darker locations and unusual challenges. For this Halloween adventure, the creator ventures into an old graveyard at night with a specific plan. He intends to perform a ritual at exactly midnight, surrounded by graves that date back generations. Walking through the graveyard, the creator admits this may be one of his more questionable ideas.
Now I have to admit, I think this is one of my dafter ideas, but we'll see what happens. If you're a fan of The Evil Dead, stick around because you never know. It might be groovy, or not.
As he explores between the headstones, he examines some of the dates. Several graves are nearly a century old, adding to the atmosphere as midnight approaches.
1925, 1941. Until the daybreak, the shadows flee away.
Moving deeper into the cemetery, he finds even older graves and several tombs.
As you can see in here, the graves are a lot older. And there's even a couple of tombs. And there's flags here, so I don't know what somebody's doing. They're up to something. Oh, look at that classic gravestone there.
Then he notices flags placed nearby. He does not know who left them or exactly what they represent. Around him, the cemetery continues to show signs of its age, including a tree growing directly through one of the old structures. Eventually, he chooses a spot that seems suitable for what he has planned.
Okay, quick check of the time. Right, we've got 2 minutes. Because we want to do this at midnight.
Checking the time, he realizes there are only 2 minutes remaining until midnight. He prepares himself and waits for the exact moment to begin. At midnight, he starts performing the ritual. The cemetery remains dark and quiet around him as he continues.
Conda estrata montos, egrets gad, nosferatos canda, amantos canda. Something fucking come over my shoulder there. Oh, shit.
Then his attention is suddenly drawn towards something nearby. Looking through the darkness, he sees a shape that appears disturbingly similar to a hand. He shines more light toward the strange shape, trying to understand what he is seeing. His breathing becomes heavier as he remains focused on it.
Fucking hell. What the fuck? That looks like a fucking hand. Get a bit of light on that. Fucking hell.
He says that just after staring at the hand-shaped object, he felt something touch his back.
Shit. I have no idea what that was. But I just felt something touch my back. Just after I said that. While I was looking at that thing that looked like a hand. Alright. Happy Halloween. Never again.
Unable to explain what made contact with him, he immediately decides he has had enough. The Halloween experiment ends there, with the creator making it clear he has no intention of repeating the experience. Ray Gloom's real-life encounters returns to a remote area with Camelot Tim after previously hearing reports of a terrifying scream in the surrounding wilderness. This time, the pair explore from their vehicle after dark. What begins as a search for something unexplained quickly turns into a series of encounters with large animals moving through the trees. While driving through the darkness, Camelot Tim suddenly stops and begins shining his spotlight towards something outside.
Okay, I think the reason Camel Tim stopped, he's spotlighting something. Wait, hold on.
Ray Gloom tries to see what has caught his attention. Then they spot a dark animal. Ray Gloom identifies it as a black bear.
Okay,
That's a black bear.
you guys probably can't see me, it's so dark. It looks like a black bear.
We have a black bear.
Where'd it go?
The bear quickly disappears into the darkness. They switch on additional lights and search the surrounding woods, hoping to spot it again. Ray Gloom believes there may actually be more than one bear nearby, but despite scanning the trees, they cannot find them. Looking back on the encounter, Ray Gloom explains that Camelot Tim spotted the animals first.
Okay, so that Camel Tim saw it before I did, but then I saw it. I tried to get the camera to look at it, but then they were kind of moved away because they're dark. That scared me. That made me jump. I was totally freaking out thinking it was something else. But they must have been black bears. A mom and a cub, right?
They were black bears.
Yeah.
He believes they may have seen a mother and cub. As they continue down the road, however, something begins bothering him. Ray Gloom saw the animals on one side of the road, while Camelot Tim later saw them on the other.
You would see it like right up in here on your right is where we would see it. On your right is
Yeah.
where we would see it.
Oh, yep, they would have been right up there.
Yep.
He cannot understand how they could have crossed so quickly without being noticed. The confusion briefly makes him wonder whether they actually saw black bears at all. Farther down the road, Camelot Tim suddenly sees another large shape running through the darkness. He immediately tells Ray Gloom to stop, asked whether it could have been a deer.
Because there could be something creepy up there in the woods.
I just saw him run right here.
What? Oh, stop.
I just saw him running right there.
Okay, I'm looking. Camel Tim saw something run right there, just barely. Like was it a deer?
No, it looked like it was a massive bear.
What?
Yeah,
Another one?
it was right in that meadow.
In the middle.
Meadow.
Yeah.
To him, it looked like a massive bear. They shine the spotlight toward the meadow where the animal disappeared. Camelot Tim insists the creature was large, dark, and moving through the woods. Ray Gloom points out that ordinary black bears in the area should not appear as large as what they just witnessed.
Kind of spooky. If it's something bigger than a black bear, but black and moving through the woods.
Yeah, it was big and black.
Yeah.
So.
Unable to find the animal again, they continue driving. Ray Gloom jokes that perhaps it is stalking them, although he cannot understand how anything could keep pace with their vehicle. They continue scanning the trees, hoping that what they saw really was just an unusually large black bear. For the rest of the drive, the camera remains ready in case the dark figure appears again. Franco TV is known for venturing alone into isolated and unsettling locations, often continuing long after most people would have turned back. During this nighttime exploration of a remote forest, Franco begins noticing something unusual through his night vision camera. Whatever it is, it seems to stay with him as he tries to find his way out. While walking through the darkness, Franco suddenly spots what appears to be a pair of glowing eyes ahead of him. He stops and focuses his camera toward the trees.
I definitely have eyes. Right there. Oh shit. Something's watching me. What the fuck is that? That's the same thing I seen in the other place I went to.
The eyes are difficult to make out without the night vision, but Franco is certain something is there watching him.
Fuck that. I'm gonna keep making my way. There is something definitely watching me now.
Rather than approach it, Franco continues toward the exit. Even as he puts more distance between himself and the original spot, he still feels like he is being watched. Then another pair of eyes appears elsewhere in the forest. Franco turns his attention toward the second set of reflections.
I'm shining my light right at it. I just see the eyes. I was a lot closer to it before. And it was higher. It wasn't like an animal. Look at that. Jesus Christ. I feel like someone's going to come up right behind me. I saw some eyes down there too, but that one looked like an animal. Let me zoom in. There you are. Lights away from it. Lights on. What the hell is that? Okay, so I see a little reflective sign. That's from the gate. I'm not too far from the gate now. I kept moving forward. I don't know what the hell it is down there. That's possibly following me.
One disappears, but another remains visible through the night vision.
Look. What the fuck is that? I just zoomed in a little bit more.
What concerns him is the height. He says it does not appear to be positioned low to the ground like he would expect from a normal animal. Now closer to the gate, Franco keeps moving forward while watching the darkness behind him.
Okay, so I see a little reflective sign. That's from the gate. I'm not too far from the gate now. I kept moving forward. I don't know what the hell it is down there. That's possibly following me.
Ahead, he notices something in the middle of the road and struggles to determine whether it is simply a tree. As he continues walking, he becomes increasingly convinced that whatever he has been seeing is moving with him.
It's definitely following me. Every time I walk, it's getting closer and closer.
Franco stops again and checks behind him. According to him, every time he walks farther away, the strange figure or reflection seems to get closer.
See, oh, what the fuck was that? They might have watched this flicker? Sorry, that was on my end. I don't think you guys even saw that. See if it reflects off. Look at that. There is no light. I am looking with my own eyes. I see nothing. Just the night vision's picking it up. And I think it's reflecting off my IR light. This is my flashlight. It knows I see it and does not give any shits. Zoom in.
He shines his regular flashlight toward it but cannot see anything with his own eyes. The shape only appears through the infrared night vision.
Right now I have my regular camera. As you can see, I don't see anything with this camera, but I am gonna use my thermal camera.
Still trying to leave the area, Franco checks his thermal camera and believes he may briefly have a heat signature ahead of him.
Oh, fuck. Here, let me zoom in. See it? That's on thermal cam. There is something hiding into the forest. I'm sorry. I'm hearing shit all around me.
He decides the safest option is to reach the main gate and observe the forest from there. But even as he walks away, he cannot shake the feeling that something is following him.
Alright, so I am pretty sure that there is something following me, behind me. I'm not technically seeing it in front of me or like hiding behind the trees, but no matter how far I keep walking forward, I look with the night vision camera and I can see two eyes just kind of staring at me from the forest, but they're up high. They're not like coming from the... They're not like lower to the ground like a normal animal. Thought I had this on the brightest setting.
Looking back through the night vision, Franco again sees two eyes staring from between the trees. They appear high above the ground and remain invisible under his normal flashlight. By this point, Franco is convinced that whatever he is seeing has been keeping pace with him through the forest. Franco finally reaches the main entrance. Almost immediately, he hears what sounds like yelling coming from the forest he just left.
Alright, so I've made it out of this, of the forest little area. I'm now towards the main entrance. And I'm hearing yelling from behind me. I want to see if I could see the thing with the night vision camera. Listen. Damn, I'm not hearing it anymore. But I was hearing yelling further back there.
Then, after crossing the gate, another strange sound follows him out.
You hear it? That's what I heard. What the fuck is that? Holy shit. Fuck that. Oh, fuck.
This time, Franco describes it as a low male moan coming from somewhere behind him. Rugged Road Explorers travels through remote canyon country, searching for forgotten structures and traces left behind by people who once lived there. During this exploration, Dave is moving along a cliff face when what first appears to be another ancient dwelling turns out to be something much more unusual. While crossing the cliff, Dave stops to admire a large balanced rock before noticing ruins far below him.
How awesome is that? And then I'm looking down. Man, I do not know how you get down there. But it looks like there's the remains of a dwelling down there. I'll have to check it out with the binos, but it sure looks like it. So there's a dwelling right down there. We'll zoom in on it best we can.
Using his binoculars, he can make out what appears to be a substantial dwelling with smaller structures around it. But as he continues exploring the higher cliffs, he soon discovers another site much closer to him. At first, Dave expects to find another dwelling. Instead, he realizes he is standing beside what he believes is an ancient burial cyst.
This is a burial cyst. We've started to see more of these, especially up on the cliffs like this. And that's what this is. And of course, it looks like it's been robbed, which is really sad. And we'll just take a quick look at it. Boy, look at where he was buried. I mean, this view, pretty phenomenal.
The structure appears to have once been completely sealed from floor to ceiling. Sadly, Dave suspects that someone entered and robbed the burial long ago. After briefly examining the ceiling for handprints or markings, he decides not to disturb the site any further. Before leaving, something about the surrounding rock formation catches his attention.
You know, they were all about symbolism, and then as I'm looking at this, I don't know if you remember our last video where they had the 9 burial cysts underneath what looked like to be a snake's head. And then, boy, I've got to do it so that the sun's not here, but look at this.
Dave remembers another location where several burial cysts were positioned beneath a formation resembling the head of a snake. Looking at the rock above this burial, he notices a surprisingly similar shape, even pointing out what could resemble an eye. Continuing along the cliff, Dave discovers the remains of another extremely old structure.
I'm pretty sure this is an old dwelling. And that went back in here. You've got these rocks at the back. Boy, it's super old though. And all collapsed down here.
Most of it has collapsed, but sections of stacked rock still reveal where the walls once stood.
So I'm going to check out this cove underneath there. It's hard to tell if there's dwellings in there or not. And we're going to go down this way right here, which is pretty good. You can see that. So let's get down there.
With plenty of ground left to cover, he continues deeper into the canyon. Later, Dave encounters another circular stone structure. After studying the mud and collapsed walls, he believes this may be another burial cyst rather than a granary.
Again, you can see the mud. Let me back it out a bit. The mud there, and it would have been completely enclosed. And I'm wondering if this wasn't the same thing and the robbers have just toppled the whole thing. But this definitely looks like that. It's round. It's either that or a granary, but I'm thinking a burial cyst because it doesn't have the hallmarks of a granary. A granary would be tucked further back up against the wall there.
He explains that the structure was likely once enclosed before being torn apart, possibly by grave robbers more than a century ago. Nearby stones may even have been connected to whatever burial ritual once took place there. Farther along the cliff, Dave finds an entire series of damaged structures.
I know it doesn't look like much, but they were built up. You can see the clay still right there where it was rounded. And each one of these, you can see there was one here, and there was one there, and then another one, and it keeps going around the corner there. Such a shame.
Traces of clay still cling to the rock, showing where each chamber once stood. Around the corner is a cavern, which Dave explains may have held spiritual significance as a passage between the physical and spirit worlds. Standing among the ruined burial structures, with the canyon stretching out below, the remote location leaves behind far more questions than answers. Exploring with Bear regularly takes viewers deep into locations surrounded by strange stories and unexplained encounters. On this nighttime hike, Jar Bear and Brandon are moving through thick woodland when noises in the darkness make them wonder whether something is tracking their movements. The pair continue along what looks like a faint path through the vegetation. This is also the same area where they had recently heard something moving nearby. With visibility limited and thick brush surrounding them, both remain alert as they push forward. Then Jar Bear suddenly notices something ahead. A pair of eyes is staring back at them from the darkness.
Man, I don't know, but I just ran through like a whole nest of spiders too. I got crappy. What? Eyes? What?
Dude, I'm not gonna move. I'm not gonna move. See it? Look, right there. Look at it. It's a coyote. It's a coyote. It's a coyote.
Oh.
Dude, they're coming towards us.
Ooh. Let me get my gun out.
Look how big it is. See the eyes?
Yeah, I do, man.
I'm not gonna move.
Is that a coyote?
It's something big.
At first, Jar Bear thinks it could be a coyote. Then he realizes there may be more than one animal, and whatever they are, they appear to be moving closer.
We should probably go back. Well, if we're starting to get stalked right now. I didn't even hear that thing, did you?
No, look how big it is. Dude, that's a deer.
Oh yeah, that's a buck.
That's a buck bedded down.
Unable to clearly identify what he is looking at, Jar Bear reaches for his gun and watches the eyes carefully. For a moment, the pair consider turning around. Jar Bear says that if something is stalking them, they should probably head back.
See its antlers?
Yep. Okay. We'll leave him.
Then they finally get a better look. The mysterious animal is actually a large buck resting nearby, its antlers difficult to distinguish in the darkness. Relieved, they decide to leave it alone and continue on. Jar Bear admits the encounter briefly had him convinced they were about to be ambushed. In the darkness, the buck's silhouette and ears had made it difficult to determine exactly what they were seeing. Once they finally identify it, the tension eases. But the strange feeling of being followed does not disappear for long. Later in the hike, Brandon suddenly says he feels like they are being followed. Almost immediately, they hear something cracking behind them. The pair stop and listen.
I don't see a trail going over to that. Where's the fence we get? Huh?
We're being followed.
By what?
I have something cracking behind us.
Does look like a bridge, doesn't it? Or is that the fence we gotta crawl through? And everything's on the other side of that. That's very strange.
Another sound comes from the darkness, but they cannot see what caused it.
Did you just hear something back there? We had the camera off for a minute, just trying to have no idea. We've been walking a long time now. We've probably been walking like an hour straight, I bet.
They continue walking deeper along the trail, realizing they have already been hiking uphill for nearly an hour. The path seems to stretch endlessly ahead of them. After the earlier encounter with the buck and the unexplained cracking behind them, every new section of trail gives them another reason to keep checking what might be following just out of sight. Cursed Urban explores abandoned and isolated locations where unusual activity has been reported. During this solo investigation of what Dan calls the Bigfoot Forest, he begins walking deeper into the woods alone. Before long, he sees something cross the trail ahead of him, and the encounter only becomes stranger as he tries to leave. While looking down the trail, Dan suddenly stops. He is certain he has just seen something move across the path directly ahead.
Oh, dude, I just saw something. Hello? Straight ahead. Straight ahead. Dead ahead. I saw someone cut across the trail. Something tall, dude. Hello?
Calling out into the darkness, he describes the figure as tall and points toward a nearby tree where he believes it disappeared into the forest. No one answers.
Right there. I saw something cut from behind it to that side of the trail. Hey, is someone back there?
Moments later, Dan hears another strange knock from the same general area.
Oh! Right back there. That was another knock, guys. Dude, that was like...
The sound is close enough to make him reconsider continuing deeper into the woods by himself.
Like I said, I saw something cut from behind that tree over this way. And then you guys heard that knock. That was like right back there. That was close, dude. That was within 100 yards, 150 yards. That was really, really close.
After thinking about what he just saw and heard, Dan decides to trust his instincts. Instead of moving forward, he begins backing away.
Hey, I'm backing up, all right? I'm leaving.
Dan turns around and starts leaving the area. At this point, he is no longer interested in discovering what might be farther down the trail. But as he retreats, another sound suddenly cuts through the forest. Dan hears what sounds like an object flying through the trees before hitting the ground nearby.
Oh, something, dude, something just was thrown. Do you hear that? They just threw something through the forest. Right back there, dude. Right back there. So like something got thrown, like from that direction. I heard it like fly over and hit right there.
To him, it sounds as though something has deliberately been thrown from the forest. The encounter convinces him that leaving was the right decision. As Dan continues toward safety, he begins hearing another disturbing sound.
Dude, something's following me, for sure. I keep hearing footsteps right out of my view, back there. I keep hearing footsteps, like, kind of keeping pace with me, kind of not. For sure. All right, I'm leaving, guys. Like, I'm out of here.
Footsteps seem to be moving through the woods just outside his field of view. Every time he walks, the movement appears to keep pace with him. Dan becomes convinced that something is following him.
Somebody's following me. And if someone is following me, let's go. I am armed.
Still hearing movement around him, Dan calls out and makes it clear that he is armed. The footsteps do not completely stop. Instead, he begins hearing sounds from multiple directions, including more movement alongside the trail.
Dude, I keep hearing footsteps everywhere now. Dude, I literally keep hearing footsteps everywhere. I just heard something over there. I keep hearing something like keeping up with me. Right on that side. Right back there.
What started with a brief glimpse of a tall figure has now turned into a tense walk out of the forest, with Dan repeatedly checking the darkness as whatever is nearby appears to escort him away. Yasko frequently puts himself in isolated locations with unsettling histories, often staying overnight to see what happens when everything becomes quiet. During this trip, he camps alone inside his van in a forest connected to stories of mysterious deaths, disappearances, and strange activity. Late at night, the silence outside begins to change. While sitting inside his van watching television, Jasko suddenly hears something outside. The noise is loud enough to cut through the show he is watching.
I don't understand.
It's a long story. Probably best just to tell it once.
To him, it sounds disturbingly similar to a scream. He stops to listen but eventually decides to continue watching, promising to turn the camera back on if anything else happens. Not long afterward, Jasko is interrupted again. This time, his reaction is immediate.
What the fuck? Who's there?
He calls out, asking who is there. Then he becomes quiet and listens more carefully. Jasko suddenly realizes he can hear what sounds like voices outside the van.
Guys. I hear voices. I legit hear talking outside the van. I think people are here. Fuck.
He tells the camera that someone appears to be talking nearby and begins wondering whether people have approached his campsite. The problem is that he cannot see anyone. Unsure what to do, he calls out again.
Hello? What the fuck was that? Okay. Okay, shh. I'm gonna turn the light off quick.
There is still no clear response. Another sound outside causes Jasko to react. Wanting to see what is happening without making himself completely visible, he switches off the lights inside the van. He then prepares to use only his camera light while trying to look outside. With the exterior lights off and the front shades closed, Jasko struggles to see what might be surrounding the vehicle. He remains inside, listening for the voices that had been speaking only moments earlier. Then, an entirely different sound erupts outside.
Literally, I have all the lights off outside. I have my shades in the front. Can't see anything. Oh! Holy shit! Yo. That's a gunshot.
A loud bang echoes through the area. Jasko immediately identifies it as a gunshot. Whatever caution he had shown before disappears instantly. With mysterious voices outside his van, and what he believes was a gunshot nearby, Jasko decides there is no reason to remain at the campsite. His only thought now is getting the van started and leaving the forest. Exploring with Angelo travels into remote locations searching for strange stories and unexplained activity. During this camping trip, Angelo returns to an area associated with reported Bigfoot encounters and unusual sounds. As the night grows quieter, something begins making noise beyond the campsite, drawing Angelo away from the others to investigate. Walking alone in the darkness, Angelo explains that the area is not especially known for traditional hauntings. Still, he cannot ignore the feeling that he keeps hearing something nearby.
Something out here? So this place, I don't know, I've done research before. It's not really like known to be haunted. I keep hearing something.
He pauses and listens. Then a strange sound comes from somewhere deeper in the trees.
Okay, there's something moaning in there. No way. What? Bigfoot? Something's in there. I heard it.
Angelo describes the noise as moaning. Unsure what could be responsible, he jokingly wonders whether it could be Bigfoot. Then another sound catches his attention.
Hey, dude, something hit that metal thing over there. Maybe it's trying to get my attention?
Something appears to strike a nearby metal object. Angelo immediately wonders whether whatever is out there is deliberately trying to get his attention. He listens for another response while considering more ordinary explanations. A bear could be somewhere nearby. Something could also have fallen naturally. But without being able to see the source, Angelo cannot determine what caused the impact. Eventually, he decides to move closer. Following his instincts, Angelo walks farther in the direction of the sounds. He briefly switches the camera between his hands as he continues through the darkness. Then the noises return.
That was weird, though. Something hit that. Hearing moaning over there.
Angelo again hears moaning from the same general area. He wonders whether the calls they made earlier in the night might actually have triggered some kind of response. Instead of immediately leaving, he waits quietly and listens.
Just wait for a second. Maybe the calls actually worked? Maybe it actually wants to communicate with us? Whoop. I know I can't do it as good as Lomar, but... Whoop. keep hearing something over here. Something just moved there now. But I keep hearing something moving over there.
The forest remains difficult to read. Then something moves nearby. Angelo hears movement from the darkness and decides to try making another call himself. Holding the camera makes it difficult, but he attempts to reproduce the sound before stopping to listen for a response.
Let's try one more. Oh man, that was off a tree. There's too many trees over there. I can't really get it like deep in there.
Nothing obvious emerges from the trees. With no clear explanation for the moaning, movement, or the impact against the metal object, Angelo finally decides to continue along the trail. A light suddenly appears ahead.
Is that lights? Oh, that's a light. Hello. How you doing? Good. Somebody over there.
For a moment, Angelo is unsure what he is looking at. Then he realizes another person is camping nearby and calls out a greeting. The discovery offers at least one normal explanation for activity in the area, though it still does not clearly explain the strange moaning and movement Angelo heard moments earlier. Rugged road explorers regularly ventures into remote landscapes in search of forgotten structures and traces of the past. On this trip, the creator is traveling through a rugged canyon when an unexpected discovery forces him to reconsider the safest route back. While heading back through a wash at the bottom of the valley, he follows what should be the quicker route through the canyon.
So I'm headed back in the wash here, and check this out. Of course, there won't be any dwellings or anything here because the water flows right through here, and you can see how it's cut it out, but pretty cool. So this is the kind of thing that I see, that doesn't usually show up on camera.
The area has been carved out by flowing water, and at first, the journey seems completely normal. Then he suddenly freezes after noticing something in the ground. Directly in front of him is a large footprint.
Because check this out. Look at that footprint right there. That looks like a bear print to me. And there's another one. You can see it. You see the pad and you see the paws. So yeah, and you can see it. Ooh.
Looking closer, he can make out what appears to be a pad and possible claw marks. To him, it looks like a bear track. Another print nearby seems to confirm that something large has recently moved through the area. Joking that it is either a bear or Bigfoot, he immediately becomes much more cautious. Instead of remaining down in the narrow wash, he decides to climb higher.
So after seeing those bear tracks, I got out of the bottom part of the wadi there and up a little bit higher, and I may go even higher because when you're in low like that, you can be ambushed really easily by predator animals, and I don't want to be ambushed. So I'm probably going to go higher and walk across the top of the mesa, even though this would have been quicker.
His concern is simple. Staying low could leave him vulnerable if a predator is nearby. As he moves upward, he notices that the tracks appear to have done exactly the same thing. Whatever left them also seems to have climbed out of the wash.
Yeah, they did the same thing. You can see they got out of the wash too. There's their tracks. And it's been since the last rain that they've been here, so interesting.
But changing his route soon leads to an entirely different discovery. Higher above the canyon, he unexpectedly finds the remains of an ancient structure built into the landscape. Despite being on his way back, he cannot resist taking a closer look.
There is the remains of an ancient dwelling here, or an ancient structure. So let's check it out real quick. This is what I mean, guys, when I say, even though we're headed back to the, wow, look at this. Headed back to the camper, man, that goes way back in there.
Parts of the structure extend surprisingly far into the rock, with walls still visible around the entrance.
Explore's not over. That's wild. That goes way back. Let's see over here. I wonder why they walled up this side. So you can see the wall and where it tied in over there. And look at that. I'm looking, I don't see any bear tracks here, so we're good to go there. Look how far back that goes. This would have been a great storage area.
Before moving deeper, however, he checks carefully for more bear tracks. Finding no obvious fresh tracks around the structure, he explores the caves and chambers. Some areas appear to have been used for storage, while other sections have partially collapsed.
Wow, cave after cave after cave, huh? Crazy. I guess this would have been the door here, and the rest of it is kind of washed away. Looks like it's all fallen here. But, all right, the weather's turning on us, so I need to keep heading back.
Ironically, the bear tracks that pushed him away from his original route are the only reason he discovered the site. With the weather beginning to turn and stronger winds moving in, he finally decides it is time to continue back. Exploring with Bear takes viewers into supposedly haunted and mysterious locations, often camping deep in remote areas overnight. During this investigation in the Appalachian Mountains, Jar Bear and his friend head toward a tunnel associated with stories of a looming shadow figure. Once the rain finally stops, the pair leave their shelter and begin making their way back toward the tunnel to continue the investigation. As they approach through the darkness, they talk about how suddenly the tunnel appeared during their previous visit.
All right, the rain has stopped.
Man, that tunnel's gonna sneak up on us again. It scared me the last time.
I know, it
when
did.
I looked up,
and it was right there.
and it was right there.
It sort of startled me too. I wasn't ready for it. It just sort of came out of nowhere.
But before reaching it, something happens while the camera is briefly turned off. Jar Bear quickly switches the camera back on after hearing a massive noise from the trees.
Dude,
You put it on camera?
I had the camera off, but I turned it on. I think I got most of it on camera. Dude. Whoop! Did you guys hear that freaking tree in there?
Holy shit.
That's crazy, man.
The sound is loud enough to immediately make both men nervous. They stop on the trail and listen, hoping to figure out what could have caused it. Wanting to see if they can trigger another response, they consider making a tree knock and instead try calling out into the forest.
Here if we can hear anything else. Dang it, I don't have a knocker. I'd like to do a tree knock. Try one of your whoops, B.
Whoop! What was that?
I don't know. It sounded... That thing was huge, man.
Almost immediately, another huge sound comes from somewhere nearby. Neither of them can identify exactly what caused it, but Jar Bear decides to keep recording this time. Then another noise comes from behind them. Jar Bear suddenly reacts to something directly behind their position.
Dang nab, man. Every time I have the camera off is when things happen. You realize that?
Yeah, that's the tunnel's right there.
We are up on the... Ooh! Dude, did you hear that behind us? Oh, I got the chills, man. You didn't hear that? That was like... Oh, my goodness. Oh! It felt like... Or sounded like something hit this trail right behind us. I thought something was just tossed out behind us. Right behind us, man.
Hey, man, what that big now noise?
That thing was so loud. I don't want to go back to check footage now, but that had to come up on camera.
He describes it as sounding like something had hit the trail or had been thrown down nearby. The timing leaves both of them unsettled. First came the massive sound in the trees. Now something appears to be moving much closer to the path they are standing on. Still, they continue toward their destination. The tunnel finally comes into view.
There it is. The tunnel.
Looking toward a smaller trail leading in the direction of the earlier noise, Jar Bear jokes that if Bigfoot could make a sound, the massive crash they heard would be it.
There's sort of a trail going down to where that sound came from, too. Man, if Bigfoot, my boy, could make a noise, that would be it, huh? You know what I mean? Like, that was massive, man.
But their actual reason for being there is the site's darker history and the reports of a shadowy figure around the tunnel.
Look at the cobweb going across up there.
Yeah.
So this guy was a bully and died right here. I don't know, man. It was like I was talking about that, and I got attacked. And he was a bully. Oh my goodness, that is so weird. I got the chills again, man. I don't want to hang out in that spot long again. I think we just get right in there, huh?
After everything they have already heard on the approach, walking inside suddenly feels much less inviting. Black Mass Paranormal explores unusual locations while documenting experiences that may have paranormal or unexplained origins. During this investigation in a remote wooded area, while moving through the area, he suddenly stops after hearing an unusual sound. Listening carefully, he says it almost sounds like somebody singing somewhere nearby.
That was a weird sound. Like I just heard, sounded like somebody singing. It was like, ooh.
The experience clearly puts him on edge. Moments later, his heart is beating so hard that he struggles to keep the camera steady.
That's my heart beating so fast. That's why I can't hold anything freaking still. Not out of like fear, but like out of like heat. Taking that gear off helped, but I couldn't take it off where I was, because I already went down once. And that probably would have broke my shoulder if I didn't have the gear on.
Looking back on what happens next, he explains that he is roughly 200 yards from an area once described as a feeding station by researcher Scott Carpenter.
What the fuck?
Alright, so this part was really strange. I initially went back. The area that I'm walking, about 200 yards away from here, is where Scott Carpenter had what he called the feeding station. Now, I know this spot specifically through Tony, so I know that I'm in the right area. And when I was moving through here, one thing that I do tend to notice a lot is the way that the animals react. The birds weren't doing their typical, like either going completely silent, which can be an indicator of a bird predator in the way, or they weren't doing their little chatter back and forth. They were being like extra loud, and you can hear it.
As he moves through the woods, he begins paying attention to the animals around him. Normally, he says birds may suddenly become silent when a predator enters an area. This time, however, they appear unusually loud and active. Then the situation changes quickly. According to the creator, a series of branches suddenly begins breaking as something appears to charge toward him through the woods.
What my microphone didn't pick up very well was when the actual charge happened. So if you look in the back left of this video, that's where this charge happened. All of a sudden, all of these branch breaks, and I hear something charge towards me. Now, what I find really interesting about this is if you look at the heat signature that I happen to pick up as I'm kind of moving back. So that is 144 degrees that this thermal reading is picking up, which is crazy. The hottest spot that I had picked up earlier was like 96. So you're talking about a temperature change of almost 50 degrees in the shaded woods.
His microphone does not capture the full intensity of the movement, but he points toward the back left section of the footage as the direction it came from. As he starts moving away, his thermal equipment also registers an unusually hot reading. Continuing to retreat, he explains how intimidating it can be to hear heavy movement in dense woodland when there is no easy route around whatever might be approaching. The encounter leaves him interested in returning with different equipment that could potentially detect movement in the area more clearly. For now, he decides to head back toward his motorcycle. Before he can fully leave, another sudden disturbance catches him completely off guard.
And get back over to the motorcycle here. What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? Well, I just got charged.
He repeatedly asks what the sound was as he reacts to something nearby. After putting some distance between himself and the area, he sums up what he believes just happened in a few words. He says something charged him. Welcome to the Woods UK documents, repeated visits into a woodland where the creator has experienced a number of unusual incidents over time. From strange figures caught on camera to unexplained knocking sounds, the area has given him plenty of reasons to remain cautious. Reflecting on previous visits, the creator talks about the knocking noises he has heard throughout the woodland.
Of course, we've had all them sort of knocking noises during the night and during the day, may I add. They've been during the day as well. Even sometimes off camera you'll hear the odd one. But it could be attributed to someone further in the woodland that shouldn't be in here just doing whatever they're up to that's causing that noise. But it's happened in the dead of night as well, which is the more concerning thing, which means someone's coming in at night time or whatever it is. It might be a natural phenomenon, but I can't put my finger on what it exactly is.
Some have happened during the daytime, when another person deeper in the woods could potentially explain them. But similar sounds have also occurred in the middle of the night. That possibility concerns him far more. Later that night, an unexplained noise wakes him. He listens from inside his shelter as something seems to be moving outside.
There's without a doubt someone moving around out there. Oh my God. I'm trying to quiet my breathing to actually hear.
Whatever is making the noise is close enough to immediately get his attention. To him, it sounds distinctly like someone walking nearby.
I don't know what the hell that noise is. Whatever it is, it's woken up. Whatever the noise is, it's woken the birds up. They're going crazy. No. Definitely sounded like someone was walking. If anything else happens, I'll whack the camera back on.
By morning, he reflects on what happened during the night.
There's definitely something walking about last night. Didn't sound that far away. Almost deliberate again. Early this morning, there was a bit of a fog coming up really early, just as it was turning light. And I see the shadow over there of a deer. Now, could it be a deer that's making them noises? I very much doubt it. They got 4 legs. This sounded like something on 2 legs. I mean, a person, obviously.
He is convinced that something was walking around outside and that it did not sound particularly far away. He briefly considers whether a deer could be responsible, but the movement does not sound right to him. Instead of an animal moving on 4 legs, he believes the footsteps sounded more like something walking on 2. That leaves the possibility that another person was somewhere in the woods with him. Despite the area's reputation and stories involving witchcraft, he does not believe that is the most likely explanation.
So my honest opinion, I don't think it's witchcraft what's going on here. I think it's definitely something strange. Whether someone's coming out here when I'm here all the time. It's not every single time, but most times I have something happen here.
His concern is more grounded. He wonders whether someone may regularly be entering the private woodland, especially because strange incidents seem to happen during many of his visits. He then remembers another discovery from nearby woods months earlier.
Not in this block of woodland, but in the one next door, and literally they are like obviously connected in one massive block of woodland, and then it goes up to the hills. I had a quick walk through there, and again it's private, I shouldn't have really been in there, so it was just one of them. I popped the mobile phone out and quickly give it a video. Now, I mean, is that just kids that have been there and, you know, sadly left a load of rubbish and not packed their stuff, once left it and walked off? Or is there more to that? I mean, was someone else hearing them noises during the night and fled? Just panicked and fled?
There, he found what appeared to be an abandoned camp with belongings and rubbish left behind. It could simply have been a group that failed to clean up. But after another night of unexplained footsteps, he considers a different possibility. Perhaps whoever stayed there heard the same strange noises and decided to leave in a hurry. Dee's dark adventures heads deep into wooded areas, searching for unusual structures, strange sounds, and unexplained activity. During this visit, Dee begins finding bent trees and other formations along a quiet trail. As daylight disappears, however, the atmosphere changes, and the sounds around her become increasingly difficult to identify.
Then, right? If you come over here, you got this. No roots. Up into the crack. It's planted. And then look right here. You guys can probably already see it.
While walking near the water, Dee suddenly hears something that makes her stop. At first, she wonders if it was simply water splashing. Then she describes hearing what sounds like a small growl followed by movement nearby.
That's what makes it fun. I'm an adult with imagination. Sue me. I can't have an imagination. There's a lean-to right there. Woo! I don't know where it was. Was it the water splashing? I need to get the stick. No stick. I'm taking the stick. Looks like a good stick. I heard like a small growl. I'm not for sure. And then I heard movement over in this area. There's a duck. Okay, it's really quiet, so now I'm whispering. This is freaky. It's brighter for you guys, not for me.
The forest has become extremely quiet, and Dee lowers her voice as she listens. Eventually, she decides to try a wood knock.
Ooh, ooh. I swear that's what I just heard. Ooh. Let's do a wood knock. Real quick. Let's see.
More faint noises continue from across the water and surrounding woods. Dee struggles to determine whether they are coming from animals, splashing fish, or movement in the vegetation. She calls out to see if anyone is there. Then she begins hearing what she describes as repeated grunting sounds. A strange screech immediately puts Dee on edge. Continuing along the trail, she soon notices a print in the ground that appears to show a heel, arch, and toes.
That looks like an old one. That's a big toe and a heel and an arch. There's toes. That's a print. I didn't know I'd find one like that quick. It's old, and it's headed in this direction.
Not far away, she discovers another unusual track. This one looks more like a hoof, but Dee cannot identify what animal could have left it.
I don't like that. That's a weird hoof print. It's not wide enough to be a deer. It's not a shoe print. That's a hoof. Oh, great. Now we're gonna have Hoof Man out here. Where'd the bird go that was singing?
As darkness settles in, more unexplained sounds begin around her.
There's a duck. What is that? It did it twice. I thought it was a vehicle, but...
Dee hears something she is confident is neither a dog nor a bird. Shortly afterward, she reacts to another noise as movement seems to come from multiple directions.
I only turned the camera on because it sounded weird. What is happening? Oh gosh. See? It's all... Whoa. Look at that. I've never seen a pine tree bent. Oh god. What was that? Guys, it's getting weird. And dark.
The isolation that felt exciting earlier is now becoming uncomfortable.
Hello? I'm gonna put this down so when I walk through, oh, please tell me I have some left. Oh. Oh, I don't have any cat balls on me. Dang it. Oh, I'm such a horrible explorer, researcher.
Later, while stopping to drink water, Dee says she suddenly hears a female voice inside her head telling her to leave immediately.
I'm trying to take a drink of water, and as I'm drinking it, I hear in my head a female voice say, "Go now." I can only hold him off so long. And I'm like, what? And then all of a sudden, right on my face, in my right ear, I heard, "Go now," in the same voice, but outside. And I dropped everything. I just ran. And I don't know if that was just them wrestling or fighting or what it was, but I'm trying.
According to Dee, the message warns, "Go now. I can only hold him off so long." Seconds later, she claims the same voice speaks directly beside her ear.
About a year and a half ago, I swear it's the same voice. that is. I don't know where that. Oh, there's the fish smoking. There's two. There's one there and one there. Oh my God. There's two right on top of me. I don't know what's what or what's. Oh God, I don't like the sounds they're making.
This time, Dee does not wait around to investigate. She drops what she is carrying and starts running. As she tries to get away, Dee remembers hearing what she believes was the same female voice during an earlier visit to this park with her son. Then she becomes convinced that two separate sources of movement are now extremely close to her. Whatever is happening, Dee's only priority becomes reaching the road and getting out of the woods. Haunted Finders has spent years investigating locations with strange histories, and this time the channel returns to the vast Sherwood Forest. While exploring a quieter section away from the main paths, the investigation begins producing some unusual responses. But eventually, the activity seems to move beyond their equipment and into the forest around them. After receiving what appears to be an intelligent response during the investigation, Haunted Finders continues asking questions.
I'm really here. Okay, that's fantastic. Well, I've got another device that picks up your voice. I don't know if you saw me using it earlier, but you said your remains are here and that she shot you. Can you tell me what you were shot with?
He brings out another device, hoping whatever they are communicating with can provide more information. He asks about the person's supposed remains and wants to know what they were shot with. Then, something nearby interrupts the session.
Did you hear that?
Yeah. Did you hear that?
Yeah, that was like...
What?
Over there somewhere. It just sounded like someone was knocking on one of the trees, like really loud. I don't know if the microphone would have picked that up.
A sudden noise comes from somewhere deeper in the trees. Both investigators immediately react to it. Haunted Finders describes it as a loud knock against one of the trees. What makes the sound more unsettling is the location. They are surrounded by dense woodland with almost no paths nearby. He also mentions hearing what sounded like someone walking through the forest shortly before the knock. Wondering whether the noises could be connected to whoever they have been communicating with, they continue the investigation. Haunted Finders asks for the identity of the person responsible for the supposed shooting and encourages the presence to communicate clearly.
Okay. Is he the one that's been walking around and just doing those knocking? Let's play this. Can you tell me who shot you? What's their name? And what did they use? Please tell me. Come up to this as close as you can and try and shout it or tell me clearly, please.
Moments later, another disturbance comes from the woods.
Something big was crashing through there then. It might be on the camera audio. Again, that's just dense forest. I've been looking to see if there's like any deer or anything, but I've not seen any animals at all.
This time, something large appears to crash through the dense forest nearby. Haunted Finders searches for a normal explanation, but he cannot see any deer or other animals moving between the trees. He has heard deer running through forests before, and to him, this sounds different. The investigation then produces the word screaming, immediately reminding Haunted Finders of a previous night in the same forest.
Screaming.
We've heard that anyway.
Have you?
Yeah, we came one night. I was here one night about midnight, and we was in the section of probably half a mile in that direction, and all of a sudden there was just this horrible screaming sound, really loud, like screaming. It sounded like a woman was being attacked.
During that earlier visit, he and his team heard an extremely loud scream that sounded almost like a woman being attacked. They later researched animals native to the area, trying to identify what they had heard, but never found a sound that seemed to match it. With unexplained knocks and heavy movement now surrounding them again, this quiet section of Sherwood Forest has once more given haunted finders something difficult to explain. Wild Bear shares calm wilderness adventures, usually focused on hiking, camping, and spending time alone outdoors. For this autumn trip, she sets up a relaxing day camp in the woods. Her plan is to carve a pumpkin, prepare some warm food, and remain there after sunset to see whether anything unusual happens. She begins by hollowing out the pumpkin before deciding to carve it into a bear. What starts as a simple Halloween activity slowly turns into a strange-looking creation she names Scary Bear.
And I need to decide what to do for a face. I was going to try a scary bear, but I don't think I can pull that off. Mouth like that. Let's try it. What's the worst that can happen? I don't know what any of these gadgets are for particularly. Make an eye here. Oh, oh wow, that's amazing. Oh, that's so easy.
The face gradually takes shape as she adds eyes, a rounded nose, sharp teeth, and heavy eyebrows. By the time she finishes, the pumpkin looks surprisingly intimidating and becomes the perfect companion for the darker part of the evening.
Oh yeah, he looks like a right meanie now. That's what he needed. He just needed eyebrows. Well, that's not too bad actually. Rawr. Oh.
With the carving finished, she warms rice pudding over the fire and adds cinnamon. For now, the woodland remains peaceful, with nothing more unsettling than the approaching darkness.
A little bit of cinnamon as well. Perfect. Hey guys, I think it's going to be getting dark soon, which is very exciting. And hopefully some nice ghouls will come out and give us a bit of a spook. You never know.
Once the fire has burned down, Wild Bear prepares for the final part of the trip.
I think I'm gonna burn through the rest of this wood and then I'm gonna sit in the dark and wait for the ghosts. Right, it's dark and my coals are out and nice and cold. I'm gonna turn all my lights off now and sit in the hot seat here in the dark. I've got 2 trail cams out facing the chair, so you'll be able to see me, but I won't be able to see anything apart from maybe Scary Bear there. We'll leave him on. And yeah, we'll see if we can get some ghosts to come and talk to us. Oh, I do hope so. Okay, I hope the trail cams are working, picking me up. They're motion detectors, so hopefully they're on, otherwise.
She places 2 motion-activated trail cameras facing her chair, switches off her lights, and sits beside the glowing pumpkin. Unable to see much beyond Scary Bear, she calls into the forest and invites any ghosts or other entities to make contact. A series of deep, growling noises suddenly comes from nearby.
Is anyone here? Make a sound. If there's a spirit here, make a sound.
In the darkness, the sound could easily be mistaken for something threatening, although it is actually a fallow deer calling just outside the camera's view. She continues asking for a sign. Moments later, something begins crunching through the leaves around her chair.
Ghosts?
Another deer sound erupts without warning, startling her as she waits for a response.
Well, so far, no ghosts. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like we're gonna get any ghosts tonight. Maybe they're here, they're just shy. Ghosts can be shy, can't they? Ghosties!
If you're a frustrated entity, make yourself known.
More rustling and animal calls follow, but no ghost ever reveals itself. Wild Bear eventually accepts that the forest's real inhabitants are the only visitors joining her that night. CJ Faison travels to unusual and reportedly dangerous locations, often testing how close he can get before someone intervenes. In this video, he and Sunny park an RV near the back gate of Area 51 and watch the activity beyond the restricted boundary. While reviewing sped-up footage from their first night, CJ notices a red light crossing the frame. A second unidentified object then appears higher in the sky.
Into this footage is sped up, but right here where that arrow is, you're going to see a red light going to the right, and then up at the top of your screen right about now, there is now a, don't even know what that is, to be honest with you, but it is moving across the screen, as you all can see, and that red light is just now out of sight, out of mind. I did leave this in here too. I don't know exactly what this is, kind of made me question some things, but it glimpses in, disappears, and then blinks a little bit and goes back the other way. Again, I'm not sure what that is. This is for all of us to decide. You know, I'm not some scientist or like super crazy researcher here, but definitely some of the weirder things happened. And again, this is just our first night out there.
After hours without seeing the security vehicles known as the Camo Dudes, CJ decides to provoke a reaction.
But I kind of want to run a test here. And this is what we're going to do next. We're going to run a test to see if we can get the Camo Dudes to come back outside the gate again and roll by us. So I'm gonna go get a flashlight. I'm just gonna wave it around a little bit up in the sky, kind of at the gate, a little bit around, and see if they come back out, because we've not seen them in probably what, an hour, 2 hours maybe?
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a hot minute, so.
He takes a powerful flashlight outside and begins sweeping it toward the gate and across the sky. Before he can continue, they notice an unexplained reflection sitting in the field.
Oh, what the fuck is that? Look. See it? That reflection right there?
Oh, yeah, field. What is it?
I have no idea. Hang on. Let me get that on camera. That right there.
Neither man can determine what is producing it. When CJ zooms his camera toward the gate, 3 blinking red lights become visible above it.
No, you're good, you're good. I'm seeing something. So you see as you all can see, that really bright red light, and then there's a couple of, there's like 3 more red lights that are blinking way above it. Sonny, come here, quick. The camera can see it, but us to the naked eye, we can't see this. Come here. What is it? Come over here. So, see the red light right here? Look at these 3. One's moving to, 2 are moving to the right, one's moving to the left. You can't see it with the naked eye.
Oh, no shit. They're blinking.
Yeah, all 3 of them.
What the hell is that?
I have no idea. I literally just zoomed into the gate to like see if we could see headlights coming this way after I, basically flashed them.
2 move in one direction while the third separates and travels the opposite way. Strangely, the camera can see them more clearly than their own eyes can. Another object suddenly crosses the lower part of the recording. Its movement does not resemble the straight path of an ordinary aircraft, leaving CJ unsure what the camera captured.
There is some type of anomaly that flies across from right to left, And the flight path of this is not normal at all, as you can see.
Okay, this is nuts. Okay.
At that exact moment, their radiation meter begins sounding an alarm.
Tell him, ask him if I turn that light up.
What's going off? What is that? It's going off. The radiation meter. Look. Dude, I'm getting inside. Look at this. Look.
What the fuck is happening?
It's going off like crazy right now.
We just got zapped
What
with
the
something.
fuck? Seriously?
They just shot something at us. Something just shot something at us.
It jumped to... Okay, so that met the threshold, dude. This goes off when it meets your threshold. 0.63 was our max right there. Continuous for not... almost 8.5 seconds.
The reading jumps sharply and remains elevated for several seconds. Both men react as though something has been directed toward their position. CJ grabs his chair and prepares to run, even though there is nowhere nearby to hide. The next morning, a white security truck approaches the RV. The driver stops long enough to record their license plate before circling away without speaking to them.
Bro, they're fucking coming in! They're coming in! Yo, they're getting our tag number, bro. They're getting our tag number. What are they doing?
Oh shit, he stopped right there.
Bro, what the fuck is going on? Come on. What are you doing? It's a great content. Wave at him. They just got the tag number. Oh shit. You ain't gotta wave back.
Later, as they stand near another gate, the barrier suddenly lowers. Back inside the RV, they discover that the vehicle will no longer start.
Dude, did they zap the fucking RV? Is this real?
Dude, what the...
I'm laughing because I'm trying to get through this moment, but this is like, you see this, right?
With another truck moving nearby, the situation begins to feel increasingly uncomfortable. The engine eventually starts after several attempts, allowing them to move away from the restricted area. Ray Gloom's real-life encounters documents isolated hikes where ordinary wildlife can quickly become a serious threat. During this trip, Ray is moving alone through a remote wilderness area when he begins hearing something in the trees above him.
And that's a good attack place for a tick. Oh. Just a moment there, I thought I heard like something was moving. Okay, wait, I'm gonna be quiet for just a second.
The sound returns as he continues downhill. At first, he considers the possibility of squirrels or another small animal, but the movement sounds much heavier than expected.
Okay. No, I heard it again. Okay, there is something up there. I'm not hearing it now.
Ray begins to wonder whether he disturbed something on the hill and whether it is now following him. Just as his camera battery dies, a loud thud comes from nearby.
There isn't something following me, is there? Well, that's a creepy notion. Something up there. I disturbed something up there and it's following me. Okay, I heard something now. Is it working? Sorry guys, my battery died there. Okay, I got it back up. Got my camera back out again. Okay, gosh, it's too bad. I heard a loud thud right as the battery died, and I didn't get it on film.
Later, another heavy movement erupts farther up the slope.
Oh! Okay, that was loud. Okay, something moved up there, and it did not sound really small or anything. I am going to attempt to use my zoom lens. See if I see something up there.
Ray raises his zoom lens and searches the trees, but nothing clearly steps into view. The movement happens again in the same area. He turns the camera as quickly as possible, yet whatever made the noise stops before he can locate it. Ray becomes increasingly convinced that something followed him down from the hill. He briefly sees movement between the trees, but it disappears without producing the sound of an animal running away.
It's just... something about this just isn't working out right, though. It's just like a quick move and then it stops. And I know I saw something move, but it was gone fast. But then I didn't hear a bunch of rustling, like it was running off somewhere, but I couldn't see it.
He considers whether it could be a moose. However, several details do not fit. His greater concern is that a mountain lion may be quietly tracking him. The situation becomes more serious when Ray remembers that he left his bear spray at home. He decides not to camp in the area and begins planning a careful retreat. While watching through the zoomed camera, he thinks he sees something moving around his position.
Wait. I may have just seen something move right there. Oh, it is so nice to have a zoom camera. Okay, I'm actually looking down at my camera. It can actually see further than my own eyes when I zoom in.
The possible animal appears to be changing direction, as though attempting to get behind him. Ray slowly backs away while keeping his attention on the trees. A squirrel then begins making warning calls from the same direction, suggesting that something larger may still be moving nearby. Even after reaching another section of the forest, he cannot shake the feeling of being watched.
Okay, I'm still not hearing or seeing anything, but I get like the distinct feeling that something is watching me. There's something back there around somewhere. I think it's a mountain lion. It moved over there, and it's over there somewhere. I feel like it knows I'm here and it's watching me. I can hear my every move.
The woods become quiet enough that every step feels exposed. An unfamiliar call suddenly comes from behind him.
Okay, what is that? What am I hearing? Okay, I don't think that's a mountain lion. No mountain lion sounds like that. What is that even? It's like not an elk or a moose. Certainly not a mountain lion. What even sounds like that?
It does not sound like a moose, elk, or mountain lion. Ray immediately drops to the ground, too frightened to continue moving. The creature eventually seems to move back uphill. As soon as the sound fades, Ray chooses the opposite direction and leaves the area without attempting to identify it. Genevieve creates personal travel videos centered on new experiences and solo adventures. During a road trip through Colorado, she decides to spend the night alone at a remote mountain campground. Rather than using a tent, she plans to sleep inside her car because it feels more secure.
So I decided a few weeks ago that it was really important to me to go to Telluride and do a camping trip by myself. And I'm not going to be camping in a tent. It's going to be like a real car camp. Like I'm going to sleep in my car. And I decided that made me feel like a lot safer, I guess.
As night approaches, Genevieve admits that the isolation is affecting her more than expected.
But I don't know, it's just, I'm so not used to this. Like, I'm not used to camping, I'm not used to sleeping in my car, and I'm feeling, I guess, that like loneliness of realizing, like, if someone else was here, I would not feel this anxious. But it's like the fact that I'm alone, I'm like so far away from home, and also just far away from like after driving 4 miles up the freaking wagon trail, and just realizing like I'm just kind of like we're definitely set back up here, and I don't know, it's just kind of overwhelming.
She knows the car offers protection, but being alone so far from home makes every sound outside feel more significant. A sudden screeching noise comes from the woods and immediately frightens her.
Oh, the other thing I was gonna say is totally like some animal in the woods like scared the crap out of me. I have no idea what it was. I think it was a moose. It made kind of a moose noise. But so like kind of, I won't show you because you can't really see anyway, but like kind of across from my campsite there's another trail that looks like it used to be a campsite, but they closed it and they have like a thing up that's like for restoration. And I just, because I'm just like walking around bored, I just decided to walk up there to the hilltop and just like take some pictures and stuff. And then all of a sudden, like there was like, so it's like you're on the hill and it's like a little bit open, but like there's a bunch of trees and stuff like right behind. All of a sudden this loud, like, I don't even know how to describe it. This is why I don't know what animal it was. I don't even know what kind of noise this was, but it felt like kind of like a screechy, like I'm assuming like a moose noise.
She cannot determine whether she saw a head, antlers, or an entire animal. Her best guess is that it may have been a moose, but the dark figure remains hidden in the shadows near her campsite. Before sleeping, Genevieve reflects on how much anxiety the experience has created. She tries to stop imagining worst-case scenarios and reminds herself that uncertainty does not automatically mean something bad will happen. After attempting to sleep, her fears return.
I just could not stop thinking about all of my like worst-case scenarios of what I thought was gonna happen throughout the night and how worried I was about not sleeping, and then I really had to pee, and that was freaking me out because I so did not want to get out of the car. Like there was no part of me that was like, it was like pitch black outside. I was like, I am not getting out of this car.
The forest is completely still, and she becomes increasingly reluctant to leave the car, even though she desperately needs to use the bathroom. She climbs into the front seat and unlocks the car from inside, hoping to avoid making noise.
Like my plan was like, okay, just take your shorts off. You're just gonna open the door, basically pee like next to the car, and just get right back in and it's gonna be fine. So that did not happen. So it's like midnight and I clamber into the front seat, half naked. I go to unlock the car from the inside of the car, like that button that's inside the door. The car unlocks, cool, no sound. But then I go to open the door and the alarm, like so loud. And again, it's like midnight.
Genevieve manages to silence it by starting the engine. Although embarrassing, stepping outside allows her to see the stars and briefly realize that nothing threatening is standing around the vehicle. She finally falls asleep, only to wake around 5 in the morning to a distinctly human-sounding tapping against the car.
I fell asleep, woke up around 2, was like weirdly wide awake at 2, and then like saw my watch and was like, oh my god, it's only 2. And I was like awake for like an hour, fell asleep probably again around 3, and then I was awoken around 5 by like someone tapping on my car. And it was like a very human sound. Like it was as if someone was out there like that. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's probably like my camp neighbors. They're probably coming to like tell me how I ruined their night because of my car alarm. But no, I so wish I got this on film because I feel like you guys won't even believe it. But on my, I'm just gonna like show you like the back of my car here. There's that little stand. And I hear the tapping, I don't know where it's coming from. And so I just like, I'm like looking all over the place. I'm like, oh my gosh, where's it coming from? And I didn't see it. And then the last place I look, and there's this like big ass bird, like right there.
After searching every window, she discovers a large bird perched on the back of the vehicle. It stares inside and repeatedly flaps against the glass before flying away. bringing the strange night to a harmless end.